28. Let's listen to Drew Brees right now.
Very, very confident. Obviously, that was a long field goal, but I think it was a good thing that we had attempted one from pretty much that same spot, earlier in the game. So he had a look at it, and man, just a ton of confidence. I think for all of us, just to get back into that situation where we had a chance to win the game, I think we all felt like it was going to happen. And the minute you heard that ball go off his foot, it was a thundering kick. I think we all knew it was going through the uprights.
Was the Texan defense playing further off than you expected? Did you change something there on that last pass with 2 seconds left in completion?
They really, that whole drive, I think that, first of all, the challenge of that drive was 37 seconds, one timeout, and you want to try to save that timeout if at all possible. So, you need chunks, obviously, to put yourself in field goal range, and I felt like we did a really good job. We practiced that, and I think we felt like we knew exactly what we needed to do in order to give ourselves a chance to win. And big completion to Ted Ginn, clock it. Big completion to Mike, clock it. And then get up there and assess what they're doing. And I have the ability to get us into whatever play we need to get into that is going to put us in a position to win that game. And Ted did a great job all day long. Ted, he had 7 targets, 7 catches, over 100 yards, a couple really big plays, especially there in the fourth quarter. Absolutely, yeah. It's a big difference as to your flexibility as an offense when you have a timeout, and then how a defense is going to defend you. If they know you have to get out of bounds, it becomes much easier for them to defend. So it's protect that timeout at all costs, and even though you're spiking it with 6 seconds left, we're okay. We can get the yardage we need to put ourselves in a position to kick the game winner. Thought he did a phenomenal job all game long. Really, that entire front did. I think early on, when you, after the first half, I think you looked at the numbers and felt like, man, we got to get back to running the ball a little bit more. Felt like we had put together some long drives, but we got in some big plays, and I think there was a lot of stuff in the passing game and not necessarily in the run. But I think we finished off with about 180 yards rushing. 7 yards of carry. Really both sides rushed. They rushed it really well too. But listen, it was just 2 really good teams going at it. 2 playoff caliber teams from a year ago, with really good offenses and really good defenses and a lot of explosive players all over the field, and just a battle all game long. Oh, he's a very good player. He's so versatile. He can throw the ball from the pocket. You see what happens when he's able to get out of the pocket. Obviously, he's a good athlete, so he can get yardage with his legs, but just his ability to create. You saw him create on some 3rd and longs, and they were able to get out of some tough situations because of his versatility. Well, I'm always looking for matchups, but because they are playing a bit more, conservative. I mean, listen, every defense plays it a little different, and you're going to see, typically you see something in that situation that you haven't seen all game long, and so you've got to be able to react on the fly, and everybody has to know that, listen, this may be your matchup, it might be your opportunity, just like it was on the first throw with Ted, the second throw with Mike, and then back to Ted. Those guys had the matchup, so those guys got the ball. Yeah, he's a stud, man. His that one run he made when we got backed up, I think after the holding call, was pretty impressive. In the fourth quarter, he made some great plays, really all game long, both in the run game and the passing game. So yeah, having a guy like him is good for me. Well, I saw Mike Thomas get a ton of attention, and they just let Taysom run free. I felt like they did a good job, all game long with the stuff that they were doing, and yet, there were times where, they give some attention to Mike, and that'll open up opportunities elsewhere for other people. And on that play, it just happened to be Taysom. Yeah, it's hard to believe, right? But yes, it's great to start the season off with a win, start in the positive. Obviously, we know the stretch of games we have coming up here. Here we are in a short week going playing the Rams, right, in LA, and then up to Seattle and then back here to Dallas on Sunday Night Football. So kind of the gauntlet here for the first quarter of the season. So we know what we're up against. We know we got to make improvements very, very quickly because we need to be playing our best football. I can't remember the last time we worked on that. You know, you work on a ton of 2-minute situations, but most of the time it's, hey, you know, you've got a minute 50 and 1 timeout and you need a touchdown, or you know, maybe you have 50 seconds, 2 timeouts, and you need a field goal. Most of the time you don't have just 30 seconds, 37 seconds and 1 timeout and you need a field goal. But I think we do put ourselves in those situations a lot in practice, where you have to, you know, be very precise. You have to know how to manage the clock to put yourself in a position to win. He's got a big leg, which is great. Obviously, kicking the dome here too. You know, he's, I mean, his first game as a Saint was the opening game of 2016, where he attempted a 61-yarder. I think he had the leg for it against the Raiders. So I knew if we could just get him a little closer, it'd be even better. No, I still don't know what the deal was. Someone came up to me in the locker room and said that the league acknowledged that there was a mistake that was made, that 10 seconds should not have run off, that we should have had 31 seconds left. Instead, we only had 16. So, listen, that can't happen. I mean, that's a game changer, right? We end up having to kick a 58-yard field goal, whatever it was, attempt a 58-yarder. If we have 15 more seconds, are you kidding me? You know, we're going to get closer. So that's a game changer. That can't happen. Yeah. Well, I think they blew the ball dead, but he contributed. He did a great job. I'm really excited as we go along here too, because listen, we know what Mike can do. We know what Jared can do. We know what what Alvin can do. We know what Ted can do. And now these young players, and now, you know, Jared Cook, having these opportunities, getting matchups, they're going to be big contributors in this offense as we move forward. Yeah, business as usual. You know, I felt like he hung in there. He did a really good job. You know, he's got a great group around him. You know, they work so well together. But yeah, give him a lot of credit. You know, first game out to have, you know, a game and a win like this on Monday Night Football at home has got to mean something.